You're listening to Devi Prakash Kasangit on deviprakashkasangeet.com and musicofdivinelight.com. So, welcome to another edition of The God in You. It comes to you every Monday at this time with myself, Errol Singh, and Dr. Roopnarine Singh. Right, so today our topic is The God in You. So, to the people watching us live on Facebook, Sitaram to you, Jamal Singh, Rakesh, and of course it's being recorded for YouTube as well. Right, so our topic today, who is God? Now feel free, you can ask any questions for those of you on Facebook. So I'm going to hand you over now to the man, Dr. Roopnarine Singh. He's a retired cardiologist. For the past 20-something years, he has dedicated his life to serving God and educating people. You can give him a call if you want to be part of the Sandhya he does every day. He will teach you how to do it. Also, he has done an inspired version of the Bhagavad Gita because he's a scholar when it comes to the Bhagavad Gita. He knows it inside out. You can get a copy of it at Prem Singh local puja stores as well as Amazon and eBay. All right, so
and all the major bookstores.
And you can call him at 665-4700. 665-4700. And before we start, I want to invite you to the satsang we're having the last Saturday of this month and next month. So last Saturday, so you can come to 1010 Soldado Road in Lanch Park. Right,
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Right, so if you can sing bhajans and thing, come and sing a song with us. Right, so we now hand you over to Dr. Roopnarine Singh. Remember, the topic today is the God in you. Feel free to ask your questions.
Yes.
Who is God? That's the
Sitaram.
yeah.
Thanks, Errol.
Sitaram.
This program is to help you understand who God is and how to know Him yourself. That you are a child of God and God is right within you and He's waiting for you to seek Him and find Him. He's not playing any hide and seek. So people ask, who is God? So we can start by quoting from the Bhagavad Puran who God is. Sattvam Vishuddham Paramarthamekam Anantaram Tvabahira Brahma Satyam Pratyagga Prashantam Bhagavata Shabda Sangyam Yada Vasudevam Kavayo Vadanti. So Sattvam Vishuddham means that God is the purest truth, the purest reality, the purest understanding of the universe. Sattvam Vishuddham. Vishuddham means purest. Sattvam means reality, truth. Paramarth. Paramarth means He is the supreme goal of life. Animals don't find the supreme goal of life. Only humans and angels can find the supreme goal of life. Paramartham Ekam, He is only one God. He is not many gods. I will explain, and I explained before, that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Saraswati, Durga, Lakshmi are not different gods. They are avatar. To make this universe, you need creation, maintenance, and destruction or recycling. And the universe is both male and female, right and left, up and down. So the 6 avatars are the God Himself functioning in the universe to create the universe that you know this material universe. So he is only one God. Sattvam Vishudam Paramarthamekam Anantaram. Anantaram means that he is infinite. There is no end. Like if you go up like this, there is no end to the universe. If you go this way, this way, just the material universe. But God himself can make 1 billion universes. So there is no end. He is infinity.
So he's no creed or class or color.
Yes, he is, but he's infinite. That means you cannot find the end of him.
Okay.
Anantaram Tvabahira Brahma Satyam. That he is also a spirit that has no form, figure, face. You can't see him, you can't touch him. He is the Supreme Spirit. Pratyaka Prashantam, but he is also inside your heart. He is Paramatma inside your heart. Pratyaka Prashantam Bhagavata Shabd Asangyam. He is Bhagavat. He is one with all the opulences. That means he is the most beautiful, 6, most powerful, most rich, most famous, most independent being. So that's why he's called Bhagavad. So when you have Bhagavad Gita, it means the song of Bhagavad God. Bhagavad Puran, the Puran about God Supreme. So there is only one God Supreme.
Right.
And he has he's the most beautiful, powerful, rich, famous, and an independent being. So he is the Supreme Spirit, but he is also a person. Shabd, he is the word. You know, in the Bible they have, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So he is the Om. He is the Word. So this Om includes the Spirit of God, Shabd, which is the Word. Pratyaka Prashantam Bhagavata Shabda Sangyam Yad Vasudevam Kavayo Vadanti. And his name is Vasudev Krishna.
Vasudev.
So the name of God is Krishna. And he, all the saints, sages, all the enlightened beings, they speak about him in glowing terms. So one verse of Bhagavad Puran is telling you who God is. Now in the Ramayana, when Tulsidas was writing the Ramayana, he described God in a different way. Listen. Ekaya nihaya rupaya nama ajasachi dananda paradhama Vyapaka Vishwa Rupa Bhagavana Tidharide Acharita Kretanana. So you have one from the Bhagavad Puran here. Eka. Again, God is only one.
Eka.
There are not different gods. And there I want to emphasize, because the Christian and Muslim and Jew, they say, oh, they're worshipping many gods. And this is anathema to their religion, because the first commandment of Moses was that God is one God. The Lord thy God is one God. The next thing, so if you say you're worshipping many gods, a Muslim, a Jew and a Christian want to run from you. And that is why Hindus have so much discrimination. because of the concept that you are worshipping many gods. So ek aniha. Aniha means that God is not like a human with senses like you and I. God with his eye can taste everything, he can see everything, he can hear everything. He doesn't have eyes like we have. He doesn't have senses like we have. He doesn't have emotions like we have. Lust and anger and greed. He doesn't get jealous. He doesn't want to take revenge. He doesn't want anything. He is self-happy. So ekayani, so the whole problem of humankind is that they think that God is a human.
And he's of a particular religion.
Yes.
And of a particular
and so
race.
they fight in one another because they're thinking God is like a human. He's not like. So ekayani ayarup. Arup means he doesn't have any particular form.
Right.
He has many, many forms. He can appear like nursing, half man, half lion to help Prahlad.
Right.
So he can appear in any form. Ekayani hayarupayanama. Many, many names. He doesn't have one name.
Right.
Aja, he was never born. Everybody else is born, but God is never born. He is self-existent, always existed. He doesn't die. He is not born. Satchitananda. So this is another way to describe God. He is Sat, ultimate truth, ultimate reality. Like I said, such that the purest truth in the last quotation. But he is the ultimate truth, Satchit. He is the highest wisdom, knowledge, intelligence. Anand, he is always most blissful. If you want to be happy, you have to find him. He's ultimate bliss, ultimate happiness.
So what does bliss mean?
We have little bit of happiness. Bliss is even the highest happiness.
Okay.
Whatever you think could be the highest, that is bliss.
Okay.
So unless you experience that, like sugar, if I tell you that this biscuit is sweet, but you never tasted anything sweet, how will you know what sugar is?
Yeah, you can't measure it unless you have something to compare
Experience, you know.
Yep.
So Satchidanand, Anand means Ekaya Nihaya Rupaya Nama Aja Sachidananda Paradhama Vyapaka Vishwarupa Bhagavana. He is all pervading. He can appear at any time. So in the time of Ram, he was born from Kausalya and Dasarat. He was born as a child. So Tehidhari Day, he takes on a bodily form, a human form, Charita Kritanana, to do his Leela. Charit means his pastimes, his Leela. So he may come for just a minute, but he may come for a whole lifetime, like he did with Ram, and Lord Krishna was even shorter. So the scriptures can tell you who God is. And they have a Venum Kwanantam Ravinda Dalaya Chaksham. This is that he has a veena. Musical, he's playing music.
Okay.
And his eyes, he has lotus eyes. And you know, if you read the scripture there, I would say 1,000,000 verses describing God in different ways. But I want to start to tell you that because this is how people don't understand. Why is it people believe in God, want blood, why is it that people going and begging him for this and that and that.
Mm-hmm.
It is because when man evolved, remember he evolved from animal stage, and he got the human, the rishis created human. This human was helpless. Imagine a human, you're naked. Sunburning you get sunburn, you can, you know when you get a sunburn? Night and day blazing like fire.
Mm-hmm.
When you have earthquake, hurricane, flood, famine, all kind of natural disasters, tides, sea rising up and flooding up everywhere. The humans say, we live in a place, whoever is in charge, he's a terrible man. So he initially had only a stick to get, you see a crapule, he kill it and he roast it and eat it. First he used to eat it raw. And then he learned, well, if you, maybe through rubbing sticks, so he saw, natural fire, and when you put the meat, it tastes better, so he started to cook. So man was very, very helpless. So he thought of God like himself. He's a terrible guy, but he knew that if I help my friend, I do something, my friend will be good to me. So he cut the deer and drink the blood, skin it, roast the meat. He said, if I give God a little meat, I give God a little blood, maybe He will save me from the earthquake, will save me from the sickness. All kind of diseases. They had no medicine, nothing at all. So this is how the concept of God rose up from primitive societies, about God as somebody you have to give some gift to. Even today, 99% I would say of the people, they're using God as a cook machine, If I give him something and I'll get something back. But this is why I'm telling you that this concept of God rises up from primitive concept to higher concept, to the highest concept, which is the Vedic concept, the Hindu concept, that God is a God of unconditional love.
All right.
Unconditional love means that you don't have any reason to love.
All right, so we're going to talk more about unconditional love just now. We're going to take a break and we're going to come back. Remember, if you're watching us on Facebook and you're not hearing us too well, you can log on to listen to musicofdivinelight.com. That's the website, musicofdivinelight.com, and you would hear us loud and clear. Right, so we're going to take a break and we're going to come back with lots more.
Light on deviprakashkasangeet.com.
That's right. So remember, the web address is deviprakashkasangeet.com, and if you cannot spell that, you can look for musicofdivinelight.com. You're listening to The God in You. My name is Errol Singh, and we are here with Dr. Roopnarine Singh, and today we are discussing The God in You. So for the people watching us on Facebook, we welcome your questions. So I want to say hello to Chelsea and Tanuj Sukram and Avinash Bechu. Thank you for logging on and looking on. You're free to ask your questions. So we're going to continue our conversation. The God in You, we talk about unconditional love.
Yes, actually, in the evolution of the thinking of man, it goes up on primitive ways. Like some of them, they thought that they went to a tree and this tree giving them fruits. So sometimes some people worship the trees, or they worship the mountain, or they worship the river. is all because of the dependent state of human society, that they worship things that gave them things. They think that whoever made the universe presented to them. So this is the evolution. But the thing is, the highest form of understanding God is to think of the mighty sun. The sun gives us heat, water, light, energy, comfort. He gives you the high and low, the rich and poor, the good and bad, the weak and strong. He doesn't leave anybody out. He doesn't say you black or you white, I won't give you. Or you high or you low. Or you rich or you poor. Or you ugly or you pretty. God is giving everybody the sun, like the sun. So therefore the sun is called Surya Narayan.
And you don't have to pay for it.
Yes, and you don't have to pay for anything. He doesn't ask you for anything back. And he just come in and saying, you didn't pay me, didn't pay me. And people, I don't understand how human society has ignored, especially now. The Hindus worship the sun. The Japanese in their flag, you see the sun.
Yeah.
So they worship the sun before.
Yeah, but even in the middle of the Catholic Church, you see the sun.
Yeah, but the thing is, the old American Indians, they worship the sun. It's just because of this, we have been brainwashed by this old Abrahamic or Jewish doctrine that God is a jealous God. He only wants you to worship Him and nobody else.
No other God. Otherwise
And
he
that
gets
His
jealous.
God, their God is God, and everybody else's God is demon. Oh, imagine God. Now this is in this 21st century, they're still pushing that kind of that unreasonable supposition about God.
Now, I heard you mention to me, but not on the air, so our listeners didn't hear that that Christians are more so like the first set of Christians. They actually believed in reincarnation, and that changed. You want to tell us the bit of history that?
Yes, well, you know, in 500, I think 50, I can't remember the exact date now. The Emperor Justinian. In the Bible, they had all about reincarnation and the pre-existence of the soul, and that you have to, the law of karma, and you have to pay, you know, for your deeds. But the emperor, in an edict, you can go to internet and ask for the edict of the Emperor Justinian.
The edict of the Emperor Justinian.
And you can read the whole thing.
Okay.
And he said, if you believe in the pre-existence of the soul, you're going to hell. If you believe in reincarnation, you're going to hell. If you believe...
But what made him change that? What made him...
Yes, because his wife was the
zookeeper.
Yeah, was a zookeeper. And people started to laugh at her and the emperor, because the emperor went and married a low-class lady. And because she was the empress, she persecuted people. Anybody talk like that, she used to get them imprisoned, cut the neck out. So the people start saying that she's going to be born and get terrible consequences with the law of karma when she born. So she get all annoyed, and she had so much power over the emperor, she persuaded him to abolish. Remember, in those days, they didn't have books like we have. The priests make the book, so they had few books. So in every book, she make everything rub off from the Bible.
Anything to do with pre-existence
Now,
of the
this
soul.
is not fiction. This is history.
This is history.
And the Pope at that time refused to sign that document.
Right, he refused to go
And
to
the
what she wanted.
succeeding Pope want to keep his position with the Emperor. He allowed that thing to come on. And so Christians have lost this beautiful doctrine and give them satisfaction that what they do in good, they will meet good, and if they do bad, they will. And that they have a chance after life, if they didn't find God now, to come back and start again.
But instead, now they're going to go either to hell or heaven.
Yes,
most
and
of them
you
might go to
right
hell.
To hell or heaven, they have no second chance.
Yeah, most of them might go to hell because they can't live by their own rules.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say things. No, I don't want to criticize people. What I'm saying is the reality. You have to know the truth. Remember, we say Sattvam Vishuddham, the purest truth.
Right.
So if I'm lying, God forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth. You go to the internet and you will see that.
It's history.
Yes.
Recorded history.
Yeah. So we were talking about unconditional love. Unconditional means there is no reason. You're doing it because God Himself is of unconditional love.
There's nothing in return. You don't want anything in return.
Yes. So unconditional, unselfish, and universal. You do not leave anybody out.
Mm-hmm. But you don't find that these days, do you?
But only the enlightened being. Remember what I said?
Mm-hmm.
The enlightened being, he doesn't have any aim to get something back. Selfish love is abolished in the enlightened being.
Mm-hmm.
Me, mine is abolished in them. Everything is thee, thine, O Lord.
Right.
But not only thee, thine, that this Lord is in me, that I am part of this God. This is what is called moksha. And the person who is still alive and has this consciousness is called Brahmabhut. Brahmabhuta prasannatma. Na sochati, na kaushati. That means this person who is enlightened, he is happy within. He doesn't have any worry. Na kaushati, he doesn't crave for anything. So this when you get to the stage of unconditional love, and remember what I said, supreme bliss,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
there's nothing you need. So this is the aim of Hinduism. This is the aim of the Buddha himself. This is the aim of Ram and Krishna. This is the aim of the Mahatma Gandhi. This is the aim of the Sufis of Islam. They are yogis. And I'm sure in the Christian church, those monks, there are certain monks and certain sects in the Christian church, they practice this unconditional love and meditation.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So the thing is about God is that second thing is that God is not outside of you. God is right within you. He's called Paramatma. The high soul is right with the Jivatma, which is your soul.
So God is in you.
God is in you.
In everybody.
In everybody. And there is also in the Upanishad say Aham Brahmasmi, I am one with God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, actually this is the realization of the yogi. I am one with God. I am not different from God. So this is the aim of life, but you cannot achieve that until you have a pure heart.
Unconditional love.
Yeah, unconditional love with a pure heart. Pure heart, blessed are the pure in heart, for we shall see God.
Mm-hmm.
So this religion is a practical, scientific and realizable religion, that if you practice it, you will experience God. This religion is not just belief. See, most of the other, I just believe and I do, and God will take care of everything.
Mm-hmm. You just believe. You don't have to live right. You just
But you have to work hard. It is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it takes so many lives to
All right,
achieve
sir.
perfection.
Right, so we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about that. Right, so we're going to talk about how many lives it takes to achieve perfection. Our topic today, the God in you. You're listening to us. Also, you can log on to musicofdivinelight.com. And we were talking about what we have to do to achieve.
Unconditional love. But Lord Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishtu matahasmitirgyanam apohanam cha Vedaisha sarvairahameva vedyo Vedankrita veda videvachaham. He's saying that I am in every living being. Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishtu. I am in the heart of every living being. Matahasmitirgyanam apohanam sa. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So if you want to forget God, He gives you a long rope. But then you get into trouble because you want to forget God. You want to follow me, mine, lust, anger, and greed, ashes, ignorance, arrogance. So you follow those path to hell. What hell is mean? Trouble, suffering, sickness, accident, disappointment. But God is jnanam, that He will give you all the knowledge, not only for your own material needs. I'm telling you, in my life, God has saved me many times from all kinds of catastrophe. He gives me warning beforehand. So this jnanam is knowledge for your material life, but knowledge also for your spiritual life. He give me mantra. He tell me how to talk on the radio and television. God is a personal friend of yours. From me comes knowledge and also forgetfulness and remembrance. If you worship Him, He will make you remember Him all the time.
Right. So if you forget Him.
But He is also the knower of all the Vedas.
Right.
In all the Upanishads, all the knowledge is coming from God Himself. Remember I said He is the most beautiful, He is the most powerful, He is the most rich, most famous, most knowledgeable and wise, and most independent being.
Oh, look at that. All this time.
God doesn't depend upon you. See, that's another thing about human being, and that's why the world may have another World War III. It's because they think that God wants something. And like, for example, the Chinese, they say there is no God. So the West here, they believe in God, but they believe in God. You're jealous, you want this and you want that. He's our God and He's not their God.
Yeah.
So the Muslim believe in God, but they don't believe that your God is God. And the Christian don't believe that the Muslim God is God. So because of the limited concept of God.
Yeah.
God doesn't hate anybody. The higher you go up, the more enlightened you become. You see, God is like a big light, but it's covered up with layers and layers of black cloth. So you have to purify your heart, remove those areas of black cloth, and then you will see whiter cloth, or darker cloth, or less dark cloth, and then you will see the light of God. So the process, I'm begging every one of you, don't postpone and say, tomorrow I would start praying. Tomorrow I'll start doing yoga. Tomorrow I'm going to start meditating.
Or practicing
Tomorrow
love.
I'm going to start reading the scriptures. Tomorrow I'm going to do some charity. Tomorrow I'm going to do some yag or sacrifice. Tomorrow I'm going to fast. You always postponing and postponing until you get an old man with a stick and all your teeth fall out and you can't swallow well and you're coughing and you can't sleep at night.
Then
You
you're ready
can't
for
think
God.
about God then. Now is the time, my dear friends. This is a practical, scientific way to find God. And this God we are talking about, how He is, that he himself is not selfish. He is the embodiment of unconditional love. And your religion should be unconditional love and duty. Actually, I put this on Twitter, that unconditional love and duty is the highest religion. It's the religion of the Buddha, it's the religion of Ram and Krishna, it's the religion of Mahatma Gandhi, it's the religion of the Sufis of Islam, is of the yogis, and the great saints in Christendom. They, in spite of what the religion believed, they devoted themselves completely to devotion, and they realized who God is. So I'm not saying that, condemning all Muslim and all. You have people in every religion who want to find God, and they find it, but they're not going up on a tower and say, I find God. You're going to find him right
Within you.
within you. But God actually is right within you. If you purify your heart, Errol, immediately you'll know who God is. But it takes. 2 days ago, God gave me this illustration that if you're cooking, let's say, rice, you put it on high heat, but you forget, and you're on the computer or on the
On Facebook.
TV, the whole thing will burn up only and start smelling. Then you might come and take off the stove. And when you look at the pot, it's black. Everything at the bottom there is black, and it's thick, and it's hard like concrete. Even if you take ordinary water, it is. Even a knife, it's hard to take it out. So it is with our mind. Through many lives, through many thousands of sins, we have accumulated all this black in our heart. And different people have different levels. So there are people who gross level. They live in like pig and dog and cat. And there are other people living like angel. So that pot will be different. But you only have a hairpin. You know what a hairpin is?
A head pin.
Yeah, and you have to take out those things one by one and one. You don't have a big knife and all that thing. So this is when you do your yagya, sacrifice, your puja, your dan, your charity, your austerity, your fasting. You are moving out those little pieces. So God gave me that illustration to tell people that it is not easy. Like I said, the verse that make me write the Bhagavad Gita, it says out of thousands of people, hardly anyone is trying to be perfect. And of those trying to be perfect, hardly anyone knows me as I am. So it's a very difficult thing to know God. And Jesus Christ, you know what he said? Narrow is the way and difficult the path that leadeth unto life, and few are they that find it.
Wow.
So, please listeners, it is not easy to find God, and especially in this age. You see the TV and radio, they're talking. They're not talking about God. And even the stations are talking about, they're talking about me, mine God.
Jealous God.
Jealous God.
Like Coke machine God.
Yeah, and revenge. You want to take revenge. But God is pure love.
Pure, unconditional love.
Pure, unconditional love. And if you think about the sun, I think that for the people of the world, if they think about the sun, is the best way to think about God.
God, yeah.
And for me, when I worship the sun every day, before I do my prayers, I go and offer water and flowers to Surya Narayan, because he is the representative of God. Without the sun, we cannot exist.
No way.
Without electricity, what will our life be?
Yeah.
And you know, Errol, do you know every single atom in your body comes from the sun? Listen, when the sun came into being, it was a blazing red ball, huge, maybe expanded about 100 times bigger than what it is now. And then when it starts cooling, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and more concentrated. But it left debris all around and it's spinning. You know, everything is spinning because of gravity. So then our earth was formed. And because it's spinning, it all turn round. Everything is round in the universe.
Okay.
They don't have square
Planets.
Have round planets. But you came from that planet.
From
so
the sun.
you are from the sun.
Yep.
Every single cell, look, I'm touching you there. Every cell saying, I am from the sun. And each atom itself is a miniature solar system.
Wow.
Remember the nucleus and the electrons? So every single atom imitates the sun. I want people to think about that. And I hope one day that somebody, I'm, old now and feeble, somebody will make a parade one day. Salute to the mighty sun.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody somewhere in
Definitely.
the world listening to what I'm saying. And you'll get the Japanese and you'll get the American Indians and all of India to support you.
Right.
And we'll change the consciousness of the whole world. That is how I started the Canada Day Parade. Nobody thought about it. They were not celebrating anything. Canada in Quebec. Well, there were 5 million people, but not one would celebrate. There was nothing, downtown, nothing. So maybe you have to develop the consciousness of unconditional love. We have to celebrate the mighty sun. And maybe you can start a parade right in Chaguanas.
Okay, so I see
Salute to the
I
mighty
see
sun.
Neil is watching. So Neil, we have your work cut out for you, boy. We have to do a parade to salute the sun. Laura, will you join
you
us?
could have the Christian Leela and start it with the parade of the sun.
Alright, so you want to say hello
End
to
it with the
Savi?
parade of the sun.
Savi, you're hearing that, girl?
Yes, man. We have so much power, so much imagination to find God. And this is what another thing I want to tell people, to think about God, to worship God, to contemplate God, to meditate on God is the most beautiful, most satisfying, most elevating, most precious experience that you will have. I go to the temple in Toronto, and when they start playing the music, I start dancing, and they say, "What this old man is dancing?" And I can't just stop. But they don't want to dance, only beating.
They think dancing is only for chutney and sukha.
Yeah, chutney and barahi and what they call belly dancing, That's why some people, they don't want to see belly dancing. They say dancing is belly dancing, so they don't want to like Islam, they don't have no dancing at all.
Not even music.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's after 7, so it brings us to the end of our show today. We want to say hello to Zoraida and all the other people. We lost the first live that we were going with, so we would have lost some viewers on Facebook. That's okay. Right, so you can watch it on YouTube sometime later tonight or tomorrow. So every Monday you can join us right here on Devi Prakash Ka Sangeet, Music of Divine Light.
God bless everybody, and may peace be in your heart, and may all of you strive today, starting now, to follow the path of devotion and finding God It is like climbing up a steep mountain. But God will give you gripping shoes to go up.
And strength, stamina. Alright, so join us again next Monday at about 5:30. We'll be here to give you another topic. Remember, we always welcome your questions. Dr. Roopnarine Singh love to answer questions, especially on the Bhagavad Gita or anything relating to God, or even medical reasons or questions you might have. So Sitaram to Marissa, who has been watching us all the time, even when we lost the signal with the Facebook, and we came back on. She came back as well. Right, so we want to remind you as we go at the end of the month, on the last Saturday of this month and next month, come to the satsang at 1010 Soldado Road in Lange Park. You can give us a call, 665-4700, if you want directions
And
or so on.
don't forget to meditate. I taught you all how to meditate. Please meditate every day until half your life become meditation. This is how you become a saint.
And if you want to find out more about how to meditate, you can just drop us a line and tell us. Right, you can also call me at 7407133. If you want to learn to do Sandhya, it's done every day by Dr. Roopnarine Singh, the Royal
6
Hindu
p.m.
Royal
in the
Society.
evening.
6 p.m. Sandhya and Havan. He'll teach you how to do it.
Yeah, in
Right.
the morning we have Sandhya alone at 9:30 a.m.
Alright, so thank you very much for watching and have yourself a great week. Sitaram.
Namaste.
Namaste.